Today I choose to follow you.
Good morning. It's Thursday, the 2nd of September. I trust you had a good spring day yesterday and it wasn't too cold in your part of the world. We had a lovely, lovely spring day. This is Coffee with God. So we've got some decent coffee with amazing crema again this morning. Amazing. And if you have your Bibles, turn to Jonah chapter 2, Jonah hoofstuk 2. Een van daai klein profetiese boeke naby aan die einde van die Ou Testament. Jonah hoofstuk 2. Now, we all know the story. Jonah is called by God and asked to go to the Ninevites and to proclaim the favorable year of the Lord. In other words, salvation through God. He hates the Ninevites. He remembers in his history, he's been taught what they did to the people of Israel, and he has absolute no compulsion, no love, no desire to go anywhere and do anything that is good for the Ninevites because of the past history. He's got a history with them. And we know that he gets on a ship and he sails from Joppa to Tarshish, and there's a storm, and in order to save the boat from the storm, they draw straws, but he comes forward and he says, well, it's me, it's my God, and they throw him overboard. And then listen to what he says in chapter 2, verse 9. But I will sacrifice to you. He's praying here when the great fish has swallowed him out of the waters in which he thought he was going to drown. But I will sacrifice to you with the voice of thanksgiving. That which I have vowed, I will pay. Salvation is from the Lord. And then the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah up onto the dry land. Now, in his prayer that he prays from verse 2, I called out in my distress to the Lord, and he answered me. I cried for help from the depth of Sheol. You heard my voice. For you had cast me into the deep, into the heart of the seas, and the current engulfed me. All your breakers and billows passed over me. So I said, I have been expelled from your sight. Nevertheless, I will look again toward your holy temple. Water encompassed me to the point of death. The great deep engulfed me. Weeds were wrapped around my head. I descended to the roots of the mountains. The earth with its bars was around me forever, but you have brought up my life from the pit, O Lord my God. While I was fainting away, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came to you into your holy temple. Those who regard vain idols forsake their faithfulness. His description of his time in the sea and all that he experiences reminds me so much of times of testing, times of trial, times of incredible hardship, where it feels that the situation just overwhelms you, and it feels like the mountains have fallen on you and the world has caved in on you, and this relationship has come to an end and you never thought it would. Financially, you're in a state where you don't know how you're going to climb out. Whatever the situation, whatever the circumstance, he describes it so well here. He says, I felt as if I'd been removed. It felt as if you had expelled me from your presence. And then faith, he says, yet I will see the temple of the Lord again. And he says, I descended to the roots of the mountains. The earth with its bars was around me forever. But you have brought up my life from the pit, O Lord my God. And I want to say to you today that sometimes the Lord uses incredible circumstances, situations, desperate times, and desperate measures to get us to let go of things that have held us captive in the past, things that have hurt us, that have left us with a bad taste, with a history. And the Lord can't use us going forward if we've got so much baggage being carried with from the past. I want to give you a hug. I want to embrace this new season. I want to embrace this new challenge. I want to move into that which the Lord has in store for me, but my hands are so full of cases and baggage and hurts and pain and memories that I just can't even lift my hands to embrace that which the Lord has put in before me. And the Lord truly does take Nehemiah into a storm, and through a storm into a fish, and in the belly of the fish, while he's, man, I cannot even begin to imagine physically what it's like to think you're drowning, that the waters have filled your lungs, and you're holding on with everything that's in you with that last little bit of breath, and just before you pass out, this incredible thing swallows you, and now you're in there, and how that works, and how I know in the storybooks, he's sitting and he's kind of baking fish, or there's a light, and he's sitting in this massive big cavern, almost like a dark cave. But imagine you're pressed in on all sides, and you're in a fish's insides, and it's pressing on. I don't know what it was like, but there, I will sacrifice to you with a voice of thanksgiving. Think about those words. I will sacrifice to you. What does it mean to sacrifice? It means to give something that hurts, to give something that costs you something. It's not just giving out of the excess. It's not just giving that which is just lying around freely. It's sacrifice is painful giving. It's giving to the point of where this takes from my very essence to give to you with a voice of thanksgiving. To be able to give thanks in those kind of situations is a sacrifice. So as you go into today, the second day of spring, change of season, get excited. I don't know your circumstances. I don't know your situation. I don't know what you're going into. I don't know what you're coming out of. But Jonah had to lay off some past prejudices and some past hurts. And the Lord does take him to Nineveh, and the city of Nineveh repents. And the Lord may be wanting you to reach out, to reach into someone who's hurt you in the past, someone who's done something, or a group of people, or I don't want to think about what the Lord wants to do for you. As I said yesterday, when we catch up to what the Lord's doing, we think we can take over. Just trust the Lord. Here, Jonah trusts the Lord in the storm, in the waters, and in the fish. And he offers a sacrifice of thanksgiving. And the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah up onto the dry land. At the right time, the Lord will bring the release. The Lord will bring the escape. The Lord will bring the breakthrough that's needed in your life at the right time. There's not a recipe. If I pray this with thanksgiving, if I'm thankful enough, then the Lord will release it. Remember, it's when we've learned what we need to learn, when we've let go of what we need to let go, when the Lord has worked that in us, that he knows we need to have worked in us in order to be his faithful servant in what the Lord is preparing us for, that he will release us out of the trials and the testing that we go through. But ultimately, just remember, he is in control. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. May the Lord bless you. And something I've said sparks a thought in you and you need to talk about it, please make contact. Love to chat with you. If in person, over a cup of coffee, even better. Have a good Thursday.